Hello, this is Kevin. Welcome to the shop. Here to have a little bit of four-jaw fun today. And we're going to be playing with some hubs. These are some old Chrysler brake rotors that have just cut the brake rotor part of it off, just turned it into a hub so one of the guys can use it in a race car. It is a 5-lug pattern, so you've got these sets of fins to kind of reinforce it, but they're offset for every lug. You've only got a 4-jaw chuck, so it's not going to line up real well. It's going to make a bit of a mess, and it is a mess. You've seen I've had this thing in the chuck before, but he's asked me to do a little bit more work on it, so we're going to try to set it up again today. The problem is this is tapered, and it's an ugly casting. You can see, based on the machine work that was done before, that this is not a true surface. Inside here may be, but this isn't, so you can't just butt it up against it. And the jaws aren't tall enough to reach all the way out to this surface for me to address this mess over here. So it gets a little interesting. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to show you what kind of 4-jaw fun we have. If Adam Booth is for hire, I'd like him to come pay me a visit next time I got to do one of these stinking things. I'm kind of cheating because I did this just a moment before on one of the other hubs that he had. So I got the jaws pretty much set for the old hub, the previous hub. But these things being a rough casting, there's no telling what I'm going to end up with. But before we even do that, let's just give it a spin. We're way out, just way out. So spin this thing around, see if we can rotate it. Get it back in here a little better. If that helps any, and it doesn't, it's just a disaster. So I'm sure you can see that. It's a blind man can see that. Dead people can see it. There's just no easy way about it. But because of those ribs, when you start cranking this thing down, it starts moving everywhere. They just don't want to hold well at all. Getting there, but now we're way out on that. We'll start by cranking down number 4. Okay, we've got it close enough that it's not going to blow the indicator away when we get to it. So we'll set up this old Hardinge indicator, which is probably getting blown out by the overhead lights. It is metric. If I stand here, you might be able to see it. And it's reading just crazy stupid out. Because it is metric, it means that just about every division on the dial is going to be about 3, almost 4/10. So we're going up to 750 there. Let's just and the jaws are starting to grab the fins, so it doesn't want to turn well either. It doesn't want to slide across because of these little ridges on the back are catching on the next jaw over. This is just a real ugly thing to look at. That's 550. That's a couple out. There we go. It's a bit better. Holy cow. That is the high. Let's go ahead and turn that down just a touch. Just a touch. That blow it way out. 77, 80, 76, 72. Oh, we kind of went the wrong way on that one. Good job. Let's go back and undo the boo-boo. Okay, 80, 70, 78, crazy up there. 75, 76, 78, up there again with 78. So let's bump this, let's go ahead and bump this one in just a touch. And 80, 75, 77, 79, 80. I'm gonna have to bump this one up just a touch. And now you see how it's jumped. Back that off just a little bit, and now that is the high. $80, 80, 78. So it's not wanting to move much. It's looking pretty close. Again, every mark on the indicator is showing me basically 3.98 tenths, if you want to get picky. So yeah, it's pretty close for this kind of a job. It's pretty close. Now, the fun part is, what have we done to blow out this part of the world? Yeah, you'll have to bear with me. Me and my craptastic Chinese crap. I don't have all the fancy no-goes and that kind of good stuff. Now with the angle, you're probably not going to be able to read that at all. Look at that. All right, sweet. Well, there we go. That's a low. Here's a high. So there's 47. That jaw is 42, 42 and a half, and it's back up to 47. And we're up close. So now look at how far everything has moved. It's pivoting instead of just popping over, which means I can't keep doing this because it's just going to keep rocking around. want it as straight as possible. So we're looking at 2, 42, 47, 46, 46, 42. That's 15 tenths, somewhere in there, 1.5 thousandths out. We got that done. Now we need to go back and look at this surface and see if knocking this in has moved this around. So let's reset. So we're looking at 64, 75, 63, and then way down in the dumps. So that sucker is tight. It didn't want to move. So with this being below, let's go ahead and check that out. There's the low. Not wanting to move much. Again, the little ribs are catching on the jaws next to them and don't really want to go anywhere. There's 62, 59, 64. Yeah. 62, 62. Okay. 62, 63, 63 and a half, 64, 62. I don't think I'm going to get it much better than that. That's within that's within 1,000th. I'm sorry, it's 4 of them, so it's 1.5 thousandths again. It's just not going to happen. Just not going to get it much tighter than that. One more time on the face. Let's go to 45, 42, 41, 45, 45. Again, it's just not going to get much better. So this is straight enough for me to get in there and try to clean that up. But because I'm working with that surface, let's just go ahead, just for giggles, and see how far that is out. That is a factory finish right there. He just scribbled on it with a pen. So we're looking at 5, 1, 2.5, 7.5, 5. Now I can get in here and tap this one way or the other to try to steer it, but it's going to end up throwing this off. It's going to twist it out of here. If we slide back to the other, oops, sorry about bumping you guys. Slide back to this part of the register. Get in there where it's making contact. We're looking at 40, 41, 42, 43, 41. So these rotors are simply not, they're simply not machined well. They're not turned well. If you check inside here on the bore, you'll find that it's off even further. And again, I'm smacking you guys around. I don't know that I can get in there with this setup and still get it on the camera. I guess we'll kind of be able to. I'll get a comparison anyway. Not perfect, but it's something. 32, 2, just under. So the inside I've found is generally not in line with the outside. The bore is just, it's off center, but as close as these things are to the center of rotation, it's not going to make a difference in the balance of the wheel. It's not going to cause a vibration. It's just too heavy, too close. Anyway, there we go. It's a mess. It's close enough for me to get in here and clean this mess up and do something with it. So I guess that's the end of the 4-jaw fun on this one. We'll catch you next time.